Have you ever wondered what biblical fasting and prayer really mean? At the core of Christian faith, these two practices hold a unique and profound place, deeply rooted in both the Old and New Testaments. Let's start by understanding fasting. In essence, fasting is the act of willingly abstaining from some or all food, drink, or both for a period of time. It's a personal act of eradicating distractions for a spiritual purpose. It hits the reset button of our soul and renews us from the inside out. It also enables us to celebrate the goodness and mercy of God and prepares our hearts for all the good things God desires to bring into our lives. Now let's move on to prayer. Prayer in the Christian faith is a direct line to God. It's an intimate and vital connection with our Creator. It's not just about asking for God's blessings, though it's certainly part of it, but it's also about acknowledgement and surrender to God's infinite power and love. It's an opportunity to align our spirit with God's Spirit, to tap into His wisdom, strength, and peace. Both fasting and prayer are deeply interwoven, with each enriching the other. It's like a spiritual dance of surrender and reception, where we let go of our earthly sustenance and distractions, and in turn, open ourselves up to receive spiritual nourishment and divine wisdom. I remember my first fast. It was a day-long fast when I was in my late teens. I was nervous, unsure of what to expect, but as the day passed, I felt a sense of clarity and peace that was new to me. It was as if the usual noise of the world had turned down, and I could hear my own thoughts and God's voice more clearly. That day, my connection with God deepened, and I understood my faith in a way I hadn't before. Now that we've laid the foundation, let's delve deeper into the significance of these practices. Stay tuned as we explore the importance of fasting and prayer, the various types, and how they can ignite your faith in the following scenes. Why is fasting and prayer such a crucial part of our spiritual journey, you may ask? Well, let's delve into it. Fasting and prayer are not just religious rituals or obligations. They are intimate and personal acts of devotion, a surrendering of oneself into God's hands. These practices are like the roots of a tree, unseen yet vital, grounding us in our relationship with God and nourishing our spiritual growth. In the hustle and bustle of daily life, it's easy to feel disconnected, to lose sight of our spiritual compass. Fasting and prayer offer a unique opportunity to recalibrate our spiritual GPS, guiding us back to the path God has set for us. They provide a moment of pause, allowing us to focus on God, unburden our hearts, and listen to His voice amidst the noise of the world. Let me share a personal story. Many years ago, I faced a crossroad in my life, a decision that would determine the course of my future. I was torn, confused, and anxious. It was then I decided to fast and pray. I remember the first few days were tough. My stomach growled and my mind wandered. But as I pressed on, something shifted. The physical hunger subsided, replaced by a spiritual hunger, a deep longing for God's presence. In that space of silence and emptiness, I found clarity. The fog of confusion lifted, and I saw the situation from a new perspective. I felt a peace that surpassed understanding, a strength that was not my own. The decision that once seemed so daunting became clear. In that period of fasting and prayer, I felt closer to God than ever before. It was a transformative experience, a testament to the power of fasting and prayer. So fasting and prayer are not about depriving ourselves or earning God's favor. They are about seeking God wholeheartedly, about aligning our will with His, and deepening our relationship with Him. They are a conduit for spiritual breakthrough, a catalyst for personal transformation. So we see the transformative power of fasting and prayer. But how do we go about it? Fasting and prayer come in many forms, each with its unique benefits. Let's dive into these variations. First on our list is the typical fast. This involves abstaining from all food, solid or liquid, but not from water. Picture Daniel in the Old Testament, who fasted for 21 days, drinking only water and eating no pleasant food. Next, we have the partial fast. This is when you abstain from certain meals or certain types of food. For instance, you might decide to skip breakfast and lunch but have a light dinner, or you might decide to abstain from certain types of food, such as sweets or meat. Think of John the Baptist in the wilderness, living on locusts and wild honey. Then, there's the absolute fast. This is a total abstention from both food and water. This type of fast should be done with great caution and never for extended periods. Recall how Moses fasted for 40 days and 40 nights without food or water on Mount Sinai. We also have intermittent fasting, a concept that's gained popularity in recent years. This type of fast involves eating within a specific time window, and then fasting for the rest of the day. You might decide to eat only between the hours of 12 p.m. and 6 p.m., for example. Now let's talk about types of prayer. We have the prayer of petition, where you present your requests to God. The prayer of thanksgiving, expressing gratitude for His blessings. The prayer of intercession, praying on behalf of others. And the prayer of lament, where you pour out your heart's troubles to God. For instance, I remember a time when I was going through a tough phase. I chose to engage in a partial fast, skipping breakfast and lunch, and spent that time in prayer of lament. It was a cathartic experience that brought me closer to God. With so many options, it's important to find the type of fasting and prayer that resonates with you. How can we ignite our faith through fasting and prayer? This is a question that many of us may ponder. In essence, the answer is simple yet profound. We should fast and pray when our spirits feel the need for a deeper connection with God, when we are seeking guidance, or when we face trials that test our faith. I recall a time when I was facing a significant decision in my life. I decided to fast and pray, seeking divine guidance. It wasn't just about abstaining from food, but it was a time of heightened spiritual awareness, a time when I was more open to receiving God's wisdom. However, it's important to remember that fasting without prayer is like a lamp without oil. It's the prayer that fuels our spiritual growth, and fasting simply amplifies it. So, when we fast, we should also dedicate more time to prayer, making it a time of spiritual nourishment. Fasting and prayer are powerful tools in our spiritual journey. Ready to start your fasting and prayer journey? Here's a 3-day plan to get you started. Day 1, begin with a purpose. As you embark on this journey, have a clear intention in mind. Perhaps you're seeking guidance, or maybe you're in need of strength. Whatever it is, let it be the focus of your prayers. Day 2, dedicate this day to thanksgiving and praise. Reflect on the blessings in your life and express your gratitude to God. Read Psalms 103 for inspiration. Day 3, this is the day of intercession. Pray for others, for your loved ones, your community, and the world at large. Use Ephesians 6:18 as your guide. During these 3 days, your fast could be from dawn till dusk, or you might choose a Daniel fast, abstaining from certain types of food. Remember, fasting and prayer are about deepening your relationship with God. So embark on this journey with an open heart and mind. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the powerful practice of fasting and prayer. We've explored its importance, various types, and even outlined a 3-day plan for you to start off. Now, it's over to you. We encourage you to apply what you've learned in your spiritual journey. Use the 3-day plan as a starting point, and feel free to adapt it to suit your personal needs and lifestyle. Remember, the goal is to deepen your connection with God and to ignite your faith. And this isn't the end of our journey together. We invite you to come back for the last video of this 3-part series, where we'll delve into more practical tips and share inspiring stories of transformation through fasting and prayer. So, until then, keep the faith, stay inspired, and see you in the next video.